and would love to know why you think you didn't get it done.
It's a great question, and three things stick out. For anyone new here or for context on that question, I was the number one quarterback in the country coming out of high school, did not have a successful college career, and did not have a pro career. And so when asked about, hey, what happened, I used the phrase, I just didn't get it done, which is the truth. That's not just lip service, but I use that intentionally real quick. Because it's not just one factor, it's a bunch of different factors that ultimately, for me, I just wasn't able to ultimately get it done. But I don't think it's just, hey, I didn't have any talent and they totally misevaled me. No, I think I had the talent to have a successful college career if the things had unfolded differently. Pro career, I mean, I was expecting, the next Peyton Manning. Yeah, okay. I maybe didn't have that level of talent, like if we're being honest, but I don't think I was just trash. I don't think it's because of just, hey, my shoulder injury or because some coach screwed me. And so I use the term just didn't get it done because that's ownership and it's the truth. But three things stick out. The first one is the mental side. I definitely think, looking back, I had performance anxiety. I was never diagnosed with that. It took me years, even after playing, to accept that. And the reason it took me so long to accept that is because when I think of performance anxiety, honestly, I think of the Kevin Love Cleveland Cavaliers example where he had a panic attack, I believe it was, where he like literally wasn't able to get his body out onto the court. I never was to that point, and so then I never related or totally accepted that performance anxiety term because I was kind of always able to push through that. And I'm not saying that as a badge of honor, but I never was able to settle in and just let it rip and just play. I was always thinking and processing and thinking about this read and this footwork and this coaching point and the stakes of this rep and this quarterback competition. And I was always just processing and thinking. I never was able to get to a flow state and just play, which I wish I was able to unlock that in a better way. The second thing, he mentioned the speed of the game. I did struggle to adjust to the speed of the college game, but I ultimately got there. It took me time. I needed the redshirt year, and I'm not unique in that. I think a lot of quarterbacks need that time. But I think where it worked against me is struggling to adjust to the speed of the game, and then I definitely was a guy that was motivated by the fear of failure, which I would argue oftentimes that can be healthy, right? If that's your motivation, it gets you up early, it makes you stay late, it makes you do the extra reps, and that's how I was wired. But then when you couple of struggling to adjust to the speed of the game and motivated by fear of failure, what happened is I started being my worst critic and getting really down on myself. Again, hiding a lot of this, but I had a hard time celebrating little successes. I was my biggest critic by far, and I think that slowed my growth early on. And I always wonder and think back, like if I didn't go to a situation where I was expecting myself to start from day one, and I kind of eased myself into college football and gave myself room to make mistakes rather than beating myself up as a true freshman when I made mistakes, and I was my biggest critic, like would things have shaken out differently? That's just more of a thought. And then the third thing, and I've never heard anyone else talk about this, so if you've hung around this long, I know it's getting long, but hopefully this will be a unique thought. I think I tapped into my ceiling earlier than most quarterbacks. And here's what I mean. I was a kid who was going to like private quarterback trainings as like a 6th, 7th, 8th grader. I was very much motivated of like, hey, I got some talent. I'm not going to waste this thing. Let's go do this thing and let's train, and let's not be the guy that gets to his junior year of high school and then wakes up to the fact of like, hey, I want to play college football and then start working. I was very wary of that dynamic. And so I worked really hard at a young age. And as a result, I reaped the benefits of that hard work as a high schooler. But then I think as a college player, I didn't have the natural ceiling to progress into that a lot of high school going into college quarterbacks have, because I'd already tapped into that through my hard work as a middle schooler. And I'm aware as I say that makes me sound like some hardo, that I'm trying to be some, hardo, hardworking guy. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm genuinely saying, and I've seen this with some other 5-stars a little bit as well, especially pro style quarterbacks, of like when you go to the private quarterback coach and your footwork's good and your mechanics are good and you've been studying tape and you kind of know these different things, For other guys, they get to college and like that's areas where they can grow into. For me, I think, sure, obviously you get better and you grow and you mature for sure, but I don't think I had as much room to grow into those areas, which then capped my peak level performance. So I'll stop there. That's 5 minutes, but those are 3 quick thoughts that jump out.